Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and stocks and how we've seen a bit of a crash over the last 2 days, especially due to mounting coronavirus fears. And obviously people have been kind of worried that this was going to happen, and the time has kind of come. Now, I think this is just the first of, a bigger loss potentially in the next 2 to 3 months, because the fact of the matter is, if you look at, certain sectors and stuff, and of course the overall market, what you're going to see is we've been going up tremendously. Now, this is more for stocks than for cryptos, but for stocks, you can see the S&P 500 up 12% in the past year, up 20% for the NASDAQ. These are, above average returns and increases. So when you combine that with, this potentially global fear that's going on and something that could have a global impact, the coronavirus, there's some room to drop still, right? So that's why I feel like although this current drop may stop after reaching its first bit of resistance, which for the S&P 500 looks to be around $300. And like I said, that would be the initial area of sort of support where things might slow down and we may bounce a bit. It's not to say that we might not fall lower after that. I'm not going to talk about what's going to happen, in the next 3 to 6 months exactly in this video. But initially, at least, you have to think, if we look back, for example, back here, the S&P 500 tends to get its drops in sort of these spikes where it falls pretty drastically and then usually tends to get a pretty quick bounce. At least that's been the case the past couple times if we look back at the chart. So that's why I think we're going to pretty quickly fall to $300. This could happen within the next few days to the next week or two at the very most. And as soon as we reach $300, we'll probably get a bounce there. Things will probably calm down a bit. And then we'll have to reassess for a potential move below $300. That's when, we might start falling lower into the $200 range, initially going to around 280. After that is where things get a bit more worrying, where we're going to start to kind of plummet more quickly down to lower levels to 250 and, lower closer to 200. So that's down the line. Like I said, first here, initially, we're looking at that $300 mark for a bounce and an initial area of support. But, I mean, this drop happened very quickly, big percentage drop on the day, basically over 3%, and a lot of selling volume, a tremendous amount of selling volume. We are now oversold. So like I said, initially I do think we're going to get a bounce pretty soon here at $300, but we will probably fall to $300 also pretty quickly. So keep that in mind as well. And after that, we'll have to reassess. Also, let me know if there's specific stocks or cryptocurrencies that you want me to take a look at. Now, heading over to the crypto market, we're seeing a lot of similar things, and that may be concerning because a lot of people like to think that the crypto market can be a safe haven, Bitcoin specifically. And on this current drop, it's been not really the case, right? I mean, cryptos really fell just as much, sometimes even more than stocks. Bitcoin down about 3 to 4% over the past 7 days. We've got a lot of altcoins down 10 to 15% over the past 7 days. Sometimes even within the last 24 hours, 5 to 10%. So pretty big drops there as well. Now, cryptos, have gone up more recently. It hasn't been a complete hype year where we're going up, thousands of percent. So I don't think there's as much drop ahead as maybe in the past, where we were going up so much. I think the drop will be somewhat contained because of this. However, I would like to see Bitcoin really hold up a little bit better, right? I think Bitcoin should be holding up significantly better and not just a bit better than other cryptos out there. As for the altcoins, you'll see this on this market overview right here. As for the altcoins, they are slowly gaining in market capitalization, where Bitcoin market capitalization is falling. So we're seeing a convergence happen, right? Where in the past, it was Bitcoin was holding its dominance, altcoins holding their smaller dominance. Now we're seeing altcoins gain in dominance and Bitcoin kind of lose dominance. So that could explain somewhat why Bitcoin maybe isn't, up or holding up tremendously more than the altcoins, right? So, a question is obviously, is this the time to buy or sell? This goes for stocks as well. And I think, if it's a stock or crypto that you really like and that you trust in long term, why not scoop it up when it's going lower? That's not financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. But I'd be careful, right? I think that there's some cryptos that I'm looking at where I'm seeing the bigger percentage drops and I'm really considering, okay, is this the time to maybe add some? Why not potentially? But also keeping in mind that, going back to these headlines, too much bullishness has left sellers in control of the stock market. So for the stock market, like I said, we've gone up a lot in the past couple months and there's room to fall lower. So I'm a little bit cautious there, right? For stock specifically, I feel like that this is not the end of the drop, right? Maybe temporarily we might get a bounce, like I said, at $300. But if we look back, right, things get a little bit more concerning where we really haven't had a significant pullback in a very long time, right? I mean, a 50% drop, is it possible? Well, we haven't really came back and tested that $150 area. So that's obviously not something that's going to happen overnight. But if that were to happen, that's going to have a huge impact on individual stocks, right? I mean, stock could really fall tremendously more. And like I said, initially we'll get a bounce at $300, but what's to say that we won't fall to $230 or $200 because we haven't really came back and tested these levels since we've been going up nonstop. And that's kind of the consequence of that is when things start to get shaky, there's not really that support built in for it to hold up, right? So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll obviously keep you updated and let me know if you want me to cover specific stocks or any opinions in particular that you'd like to hear from me. But for stocks, I'd say, you got to be careful. The Corona thing has been building and it's nowhere near gone. I think that the headlines are only going to get more concerning and are going to scare a lot of people off, right? For cryptos, basically, the idea here is that they're not as extended as in the past, so they should be able to hold up a little bit better, but don't start thinking that cryptos are, a safe haven because that's been proven right now, at least, that that's not the case, right? And altcoins have fallen more than certain other coins that maybe either fell a lot in the past, like Cardano, for example, which fell a lot over the last year. So there's a couple that are holding up better than others, but overall, the crypto market is falling alongside the stock market, right? Dogecoin, which I just talked about, actually not falling that much over the last 24 hours, funny enough. So, the ones that have kind of been long established and are seen as a little bit safer have benefited from that, but overall, the market has been falling, right? And that kind of concludes what's going on right now with both stocks and cryptos, right? So just a quick update video. I'll keep updating and keep looking at what's going on. If there's any stocks or cryptos specifically that you want me to cover during this drop, please let me know. And I'll also mention that, gold has been increasing. Not surprisingly, that is the one true safe haven is gold. I'd love to see the same for some cryptos and Bitcoin, but unfortunately, that isn't the case as of right now. Also, definitely check out my technical analysis master course. Link to that in the description of this video. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone.